Giovanni?
Him.
Good morning, hun. Do you think you could get some tea brewing while I take a shower?
Sure. What flavor are you feeling today?
Surprise me.
So is there anything you'd like to do today?
I think I'd rather stay inside today. After what happened at that silly game show, I think I had enough social interactions for 1 week.
Honestly, I was hoping we would have just had a nice time, but go figured, it got ruined. And it's unbelievable both Fred and Daphne ruined it. Like who answers questions with things about yourself? How narcissistic. You sure you don't need food? It makes me feel bad I'm eating when you don't.
The blood inside the tea you brewed for me, hun, is all I need. Don't worry about me.
Well, all right. Looks like Dora is destroying the buildings again.
I'll prep the cellar while you grab your little game systems.
Wait, is that?
Giovanni?
Oh god damn it, why did I make the dumb decision of coming outside? GoCity is never safe when Caillou and Dora are still alive.
Velma, come with me.
Giovanni? You live on this?
No time. I brought a friend.
Oh, hello again.
What just happened?
I didn't want you to get hurt, so you'll stay with us until it's safe.
Thanks.
Normally I would chastise you for inviting a friend over without telling me first, but I suppose in this unique situation, I'll let it slide.
We don't have much to keep you entertained, unfortunately, but I do have these fun little game systems you can borrow, or you could read one of Maeve's novels if she's okay with it. Oh, that reminds me, Maeve, did we have some extra blood down here for you?
I double-checked when you ran outside. I have enough to sustain me for a few hours.
I'm sorry, did you say blood?
Oh, I suppose we never told you?
Tell me what?
Maeve is a rainbow drinker, or well, I suppose she's what you humans call a vampire.
What?
Calm yourself, dear. I won't drink your blood. I find the manual way very unsanitary. I get my feed by mixing donated blood into tea. It's much better that way.
Oh, thank goodness.
But we're always looking for donations. You humans seem to have a unique blood coloration I've only seen once.
What do you mean?
Oh, our species have different blood colors. I am a jade blood and Giovanni. Well, he's supposed to be a teal, but I suppose his blood is more of a dirty silver, though he tastes like a mint shake. It doesn't really make sense.
Your species is so weird. I would love to study your kind.
Okay, anyways, make yourself comfortable. I have some snacks, if you need any.
Thank you, Jojo. You two have been so quiet.
Oh yeah, that's usually how we spend our time together. We could go the whole day without speaking a word to one another.
Doesn't that get boring?
I haven't noticed Giovanni being bothered by it.
It's always been that way ever since we met each other. Frankly, it doesn't bother me.
Speaking of that, ever since meeting your moirail, I've been so curious about you two and how you two came to be so close.
We met, we got closer as friends, we became moirails, not sure what else you'd expected.
Han, I think she meant she wanted to hear the story.
Did you?
I don't mind telling the story. I would love to remind myself of our interesting journey and how I grew to love you.
Well, alright then.
Where do I begin? Well, it all started when I first arrived in a little camp. It was a refugee camp for trolls of all kinds, ones with disabilities that were callable offenses, trolls who had mutations, and trolls who were like me. While meeting the campers through a group chat, I met Giovanni. The first thing he said to me was a simple greeting and how he lived in a cave.
She began calling me the cave troll. After that, even now, she still does.
Oh, I do not. That often. Anyways, his reasoning for living in a cave was because it was much cooler than anywhere else on our home planet. And I guess it's because his Lucis used to live in a cave with him, so it just felt more natural.
Lucis?
They're like guardians. They adopt and raise us. They're like the equivalent of your human parents, but they're animals.
How interesting.
Before we get too far off topic, I'll continue the story. We shared things about ourselves that one or the other didn't enjoy. He likes colder temperatures, I like warmer temperatures. He likes being under blankets, I don't. I wouldn't be able to get much done if I had a blanket on me constantly. The one thing we did share in common is that we both enjoyed a quiet atmosphere.
Maeve and I could go hours and hours without speaking a word to one another, but feel so happy just being in each other's presence.
I once joked about how he wouldn't be able to handle such a silent day with me, but he proved me wrong.
I feel like what truly began our journey was my desperation for social activity. When she first came to the camp, I offered my services to her. You just moved in, allow me to assist you.
And you know very well I took advantage of that. I made him do work around my little home. It was nice to have someone strong and tall to move all my things and dust my little antiques. I figured he wanted to do it just to be helpful, but he said something that made me think he had other intentions.
Oh man, don't even bring that up. Even now I'm still so ashamed of what I said.
What did he say?
I think that's a story for another time, but what he said broke any progress we had as friends. It eventually came to light he only said it because he was frustrated with my teasing. I realized that my teasing was truly upsetting him, and I think we both had our faults in the situation. We both apologized to one another and made up. I think after everything was settled, he continued to come back to my hive to help me with various things. But as time went on, I found it difficult to make him do things. Something told me that I just wanted him around to have him around, not to be a simple mate.
I just want you to know she is lying. She still made me do things.
I only kept you from doing chores when you were distressed. Why would I have you do hard labor when you were upset?
Distressed?
Oh, Giovanni always had issues with the other trolls. He would always butt heads with the others. As Zazula said, he was always so hostile. It got to the point the other trolls would tease and bully him since it was so easy to upset him. Because of his aggressive nature, he really couldn't hold other relationships long.
Is that why you and Zazula broke up?
No, we just weren't compatible, but part of me still feels black for her.
I'm sorry?
Oh right, you humans don't understand our quadrant system. Well see, Giovanni and Zazula were in a kismacitude. It's a black romantic quadrant. Basically, both parties should outright hate one another, but each party should show mutual respect, admiring one another for their strengths.
The thing was, I didn't actually really hate her all that much, and she didn't feel any hate towards me. So well, she decided to break things off. But don't worry, we both finally had a talk about it and we're still good friends. Part of me wishes I was still with her. Oh well, I suppose, it did cause me a lot of distress. But Maeve was more than capable of making me come down about it.
So what exactly is a moirail? If I were to guess based on what you've told me, it's a part of your quadrant system.
Yes, it's considered to be a red romance. It's a simple process. Our species are a naturally violent race. Some trolls are more violent than others. A moir allegiance is meant to do many things. One of them is to pacify the more violent troll and keep them in line. The violent troll in return protects the other from harm. Think of it as one of your romantic relationships but platonic.
A moirail is also like the troll you go to when you just need to have a feelings jam. It's a supportive relationship. By keeping each other grounded, keeping check of each other's emotional well-being. Our moirail allegiance is a pretty simple one. I protect Maeve from any and all threats, and I make sure she's healthy, and I meet all her needs, and in return, she makes sure I'm calm and happy, and keeps my violent side dormant.
Oh, that does remind me. Could you let the Fred human know to stay far away from us if he goes on another one of his rampages? Out of all 4 quadrants, the pale quadrant is the most vengeful one if a partner perishes. So say if I get killed during his rampage, Giovanni won't stop until my blood is paid back 1,000 times.
Really?
Yup, if anything ever happened to Maeve that I could have prevented, I don't think I'd be able to handle that emotional trauma, and I'd probably wipe out the whole city, which I suppose isn't really that much of a threat, since Dora is doing that same thing right now.
And I wouldn't stop until I got revenge for Giovanni if he ever perishes. Trust me, hun, I can be a real bitch when I'm angry.
Trust her, I've seen it only once, and it's scary, and it wasn't even directed towards me.
Well, they do say if someone who's always nice snaps, it's the scariest. But back to the subject, how did you two come to be anyways?
But for Maeve, I used to have another moirail.
Really?
Sweetest little bronze you'd ever meet. She was really naive, but her heart was always in the right place. Deep down, I knew she loved me as much as I loved her. The thing was that she did not like how hostile I was. You'd think she would have known how violent I was if she became my moirail, right? But I guess not. And I suppose she didn't like how pushy I was. I was just so new to these kinds of relationships, you know. Anyways, there was this one lime blood I always butted heads with. He seemed to be angry at literally everything, and he always had something to say. We were arguing, and I suppose my moirail at the time did not like how mean I was towards the lime, so she dumped me over text in a public group chat. I think that's tone the worst. At least Zazula did it in private so I wouldn't get humiliated. I can understand being overwhelmed by someone who had a hostile temper. Some trolls can't handle that. But why would you agree to be in a relationship specifically meant to quell a hostile troll if you can't handle it? Not once did she try to tell me to stop or try to get control of the situation. She only got mad at me for being mean to the lime blood, like I didn't butt heads with all the campers all the time. I don't know. I guess even now, it upsets me.
Let's just move on from it before you start getting really upset, hun. It worries me when you shut down after remembering bad past events.
Alright.
Anyways, he didn't know who to go to about it. Most of the other campers didn't like him and the friends he did have weren't readily available. So he came straight to me because he knew I'd at least hear him out, though, it seemed he didn't even want to talk about it. Normally, when a situation that doesn't involve me happens, I'd look the other way. It wasn't my problem, so why get involved? But something deep inside felt pity for Giovanni, so I went ahead and tried prodding him to talk about it. It's what we call a feelings jam.
It was just so sudden, you know. It hit me hard like a truck, and I suppose I was still processing it all. I knew I was a huge asshole. I genuinely tried all the time to be better, but it was so difficult. I was just too overprotective of her since she was my first, you know. I just wanted her to be safe and happy, but it seems I failed at both.
I told him that this was a learning opportunity for him, that this experience can teach him how to be better.
While what she said did help, it only told me that even learning these mistakes, I never get any better. It was at that moment I started asking Maeve, why did she stick around when no one else did? I was a terrible fucking troll, and she, of all trolls, knew that. After everything I've done, things I've said, what in her heart told her I was even remotely worth her time?
I knew that he was rather hostile and how he handled some situations weren't really the best, but I also knew deep down, he wasn't as bad as some trolls made him out to be. Some campers actively start trouble and even a few kill other campers. Giovanni only got involved when someone dragged him into it or pushed his buttons hard enough that his anger blinded his ability to think rationally. But I did think of why I did stick around. It fell right back on the pity I felt for him. However, I told him that I wouldn't dangle our past drama over his head. We talked it out and we were able to forgive each other, and I reckoned that the dirty hatchet remained buried as we left it.
I'd realized that I think the reason I wanted a relationship so badly was because I was alone for almost 74 Earth years. I was just scared of being alone all over again.
Wait, how old are you?
104 Earth years.
What? How?
Some trolls live longer than others. At my age, I'm still considered to be as young as you two, because of my case and such.
So Maeve is just as old as you then?
I'm 28 Earth years.
What? Alright, perhaps such an age gap is concerning to you humans, but that's quite a normal occurrence on our home planet. Hell, I think the age we are required to reproduce is 16 Earth years, so I believe a reasonable age gap isn't really an issue on our planet, just as long as everyone is consenting adults.
And Retro didn't consider aging you down for the sake of the series?
I guess not, but who cares?
So how old is Zazula and the bronze girl?
Old enough. But seriously, Zazula is about 24 Earth years and Mary is about 23 Earth years.
Right, as you were saying?
Alright, so I was afraid of being alone. I had been by myself for such a long time. I figured any chance I had at a decent relationship would be nothing more than just a dream. Another problem was that I had issues with getting attached way too fast, or feelings about a troll in a way that seemed unnaturally quick.
He developed red feelings for me when we first met. He was taunted about being nothing more than a simp for developing such serious emotions. Even I teased him about it, which didn't really end well.
Don't bring it up again, please. Though, as time went on, my feelings slowly changed. I saw myself slowly growing more pale for her. I didn't know why. I guess something in my gut told me that I was just seeking the wrong quadrant with her. I guess I felt that way, since she was really the only troll that understood me. If there was any troll out there that could help me with my hostel and mental health, it was Maeve.
He was hesitant with the idea, however. He was afraid it would give off pale implications. I reassured him that it was solely friends helping out other friends. While we were on the topic, he admitted to me he began feeling pale as the red feelings went away. As he said, he had a feeling he was simply seeking the wrong quadrant with me. But Giovanni being Giovanni, he immediately dismissed his newfound feelings. What could he have possibly offered me? The other trolls were always harassing him about being overprotective of Mary, claiming she could easily protect herself. He was convinced that I didn't need any protection. I was a grown troll who could protect herself. I didn't have any immediate enemies and I sort of just existed. So what could a large burly hostile troll offer to someone like me? Haha. Well, it couldn't have been more simple. I told him I could easily keep him in line and protect others from his aggressive nature. And he would protect me from a rainbow drinker hunter. But I guess now it's protecting me from your angry red humans, or in any situation where I would be unable to defend myself.
I did say I would protect her with my life regardless if we had a moirails or not. She was the only troll I could truly call a friend. I wouldn't hesitate to lay down my life for her if it meant she could be saved.
It was at that moment I told him we should just make it official then and there. Better he'd have someone who could easily subdue him within seconds rather than 3 ceruleans trying to subdue him within hours. Of course, he was very hesitant about it. He was worried about it ending up the same way his last one did. But yet, here we are, almost 5, maybe 6 Earth years and we haven't had a single problem.
Well, if you don't include the small little bickers, no relationship is without a small debate or two. Hey, you should tell Velma about the time Gerlach was talking shit.
Oh, a friend of yours?
If you'd call him that.
Gerlach was going on about how Giovanni's ex was smart enough to see he wasn't worth her time and how he couldn't wait until I saw the same thing. And that did not sit well with me. I told him to keep my quadrants out of his filthy mouth and how I can be quite the bitch if I'm in an awful mood. I told him how I could easily kill those he loved and drink them dry. That shut him up real quick. Of course, I had no intention of truly harming the 2 low bloods he loved dearly. It was more of an empty threat. If someone insults my Moira allegiance or my moirail, they just insulted me. I love Giovanni just as much as he loves me. And he knows I do, despite the fact I don't show it often.
It's such a tragedy. I am a troll who absolutely loves showing physical affection. The usual stuff. Cuddling, hugging, small kisses. Maeve, oh no, she doesn't like that stuff. She likes her space and privacy, but she does give me a little smooch here and there.
Your story truly sounds a lot better than some love stories for sure. I'm really happy you two shared your story with me. It's so interesting to learn about others and how they came to be.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. If you gave me the option to be her mate sprite or moirail, I would pick moirail without hesitation.
Attention everyone, Dora Marquez has been captured and it is safe to come out of your homes.
Only took them 3 hours.
Well, thank you both for taking me in. If there's anything I can do, let me know.
I only ask you tell the Fred human that if he's going to go on a rampage, to just avoid hurting me or Giovanni. Trust me, it's not going to end pretty for anyone.
I'll be sure to tell him.
See you later, Velma. Maybe we should invite you over for brunch sometime soon. You can tell us about how you guys formed your little gang.
Sounds like a deal. You two take care.
I'm serious about the Fred human. If he hurts you, I'll make sure he'll be unable to walk ever again.
Someone is being very aggressive today.
I just need some tea and I think I'll be okay.
Well, go ahead and sit down. I'll brew you some more tea.
Thank you, hun.